Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ashlyn Abney here at the Office of Early Childhood, and welcome to our August, if you can believe that, monthly provider call already. All right. So I wanted to give you just some quick information. Next slide, please, about our fast facts. You all know that we have been posting this to our website now for about the past 3 to 4 months, I would say. And so we will get August fast facts posted up later today, probably, maybe even tomorrow. I did want to let you know that we're still in the process of reconciling our program numbers. So if you go out and look at the fast facts for August, you will see all of our financial fast facts, but you will also notice that the program numbers are missing. When we get those reconciled, we will get that updated and posted to our website. All right, so we have a full agenda today, one that I'm hoping that you'll be super excited about, and lots of great learning. And first up with us today is Grace Norton. We've been getting a lot of questions about SRA remittance reports, and so she is going to walk us through that process. So Grace, off with you.
Thank you, Ashlyn. Good morning. My name is Grace Norton. I'm the Early Childhood Program Supervisor / expert with provider support. And we're going to talk specifically about remittances you receive automatically from the Office of State Procurement via the state payment system. So when you're a new vendor with the program, you are required to register as a client or business entity with the Office of State Procurement, otherwise known as OSP, in order to receive state and federal funding via direct deposit. And you must be registered as a business and its entity with the Office of State Procurement to receive payment. There's some resource links available online and in this presentation that can assist you with that process, since this is managed by OSP and not the Office of Early Childhood. Next. So once you register as a new vendor, you will receive an automatic email with further instructions. You must respond with a W-9 or with a W-9 to continue processing. And then please specify with the Office of State Procurement that you're registering as a child care center in order to expedite processing. Once your registration is processed, you will receive an email with your facility name and a vendor number in the subject line. Please submit that information to OEC as soon as possible. In order to sign up for remittance emails that are automatically sent by the Office of State Procurement, that you may choose to receive remittance notices via email for direct deposit payments. And these remittance notices serve as the pay stub. You should log in to the vendor portal and review the remittance information section to confirm the remittance email address is entered and accurate. Please note that remittances posted directly in the SRA portal only correspond to payments processed within the SRA portal, whereas these remittances from OSP could be any payment issued by the state. As far as maintaining your existing vendor information, there's a separate portal for that. So OSP has a new portal for making updates to existing vendor accounts. So if you're a current participant with us and adding a new facility or starting a new facility under new TIN, you may utilize this as well. It's called the Ariba Business Network Portal. And for questions about registering in Ariba, please contact the Office of State Procurement at 501-682-4357. To update your email address, please access the Ariba Business Network portal. You can also check the OSP frequently asked questions and resource guides for additional information. And there's also a general questions email there. If the remittance information is correct and notices are still not being received, the provider should contact the Office of State Procurement, as this issue is not managed by ADE. So if your remittance email is correct, but you're still not receiving those email notices automatically, please contact OSP. So payment descriptions. Vendors with multiple facilities under one vendor account will only see the total deposit amount on the remittance emails. It will not be itemized. Providers can identify payments based on the vendor invoice number and additional information. For instance, quality enhancement payments via SRA contain qual in the vendor invoice number, and other information in the additional information field will assist you in identifying a payment. We have a little visual example here of what you may expect to see. You'll see it comes from the automatic ACES batch admin email. It'll have that account information, check number, check total, payment issue date, the name of your center with your vendor number, your bank information, and then the breakdown of the payment items that equal the total at the bottom. Okay. This looks to be a repeat slide. And that was all. If you have any questions about this process, you can reach out to myself, anyone on our team. We have Miss Kaylee Hollowell. I know a lot of providers are also familiar with our staff, Savannah Sutherland or Danielle Shepard. They do a lot of our onboarding and are very familiar with the OSP process. And if you need additional contact information for OSP, we can assist you with that.
Thank you, Grace. Can you go ahead and drop those names and email addresses in the Q&A for people to see?
Absolutely.
Okay, that would be great. All right, y'all. And next up is Dr. Chris Barnes, and he's going to talk to us, he and his team, about curriculum updates. So, Chris? All right, Chris, I'm
Chris,
having a hard
unmute your mic.
time. Yeah,
Thank you.
there we go. There we go.
I was just talking to you all, and it was just not talking back, I guess.
Happens
Um,
to the best of us.
well, I was saying it is a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. We are very excited. I think I shared with you last month about our new curriculum supervisor, Miss Heather Level. Heather is online with us today. Her work is in supervising the curriculum processes we have here at OEC. She works with the Child Development and Early Learning Standards. She works with the Kindergarten Readiness Checklist. She works with the high quality instructional materials, the Pre-K Rise initiative, including the instructional coaching support through our Launchpad implementation and our professional learning through letters. And then she also will help guide and assist with curriculum, instruction, and any other assessment process guidance that you may have. So, Heather, I'm going to give you an opportunity to say hello and to give any information you would like to.
Thank you, Dr. Barnes. I am honored and excited to be a part of this incredible work that the Early Childhood Content and Development team has begun. We are working on a building on the groundwork that's already began and in process, and I'm excited about collaborating with providers, educators, and families as we continue to strengthen early childhood education for Arkansas's youngest learners. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I look forward to partnering with all of you who support the children and families in our state each and every day.
Thank you so much, Heather. If we can go to the next slide. If you do have any questions about anything related to curriculum, we encourage you to reach out to Heather, and she will be able to provide you with support. She will answer questions for you. She will help guide you in the right direction with our process for curriculum review. Anything that you need from her, she will be your first point of contact for with regard to curriculum. And then, of course, if she does not have the answers, she will seek them out and get back with you so that you have the appropriate guidance. Just want to give you a bit of a reminder about the HQIM implementation timeline. Last month, I believe you were informed that the HQIM timeline for adoption was now, the deadline for that was July 1st, 2028. And that continues to be the deadline for implementation of the HQIM process. And you can see right here on the timeline that's provided in front of you that there is a review process that we are currently taking. We do have some different curricular options that are available on the HQIM approved state list. We are also in the process of reviewing those different curricular options to see if they are aligned to our curriculum standards and are available for purchase in the public. We are continuing that process of review now, and we will be opening up the process for other curriculum submissions later on in the fall and into the spring. So this year, and next year, we will be doing those reviews within our team and with teams across the state to review different curricular options so that we can get those available to you for considering as implementation into your program. We do have a pilot program that is launching, and will be talking about that in a few minutes. That pilot is beginning that process now and into the 27-28 school year. And that opportunity will allow people to get in to view the curriculum that's available as part of the open resource or the no and low cost options that are available. And then in the spring of 2028, we want everyone to be able to have a full understanding of what the curriculum process is, to be able to know what available options are out there for implementation in our centers, and then make a selection for adoption by that July 1st, 2028 timeline. Just understand that that spring 2028 time frame, from that January to that July time frame, we will not be reviewing any curriculum during that time frame because we will be spending time supporting all of our centers and facilities out there across the state to ensure that they have adopted and are ready to implement their HQIM. And then it is the expectation that everyone that is a publicly funded provider will be implementing that adopted HQIM in all of their classrooms beginning July 1st, 2028 and onward. So the 28-29 school year is where we would expect that to happen. Okay, and if you do have any questions about this process, we do encourage you to contact Heather, and she will be able to walk you through that process. Next slide, please. Okay, it is our pleasure today to be able to introduce Ms. Jamie Rayford and Ms. Molly Hill, who are with the Center for Early Learning Solutions with Forward Arkansas, and they are going to be talking with you about our exciting partnership that we have with the Center for Early Learning Solutions and the Office of Early Childhood on the low and no cost curriculum options. They are piloting some good work that's out there to support our state. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jamie and Molly to share with you about this exciting new venture.
Thank you so much, Dr. Barnes. I think the host has my video disabled, so if someone can work on that, I'll go ahead and get started. Um, I just wanted to introduce myself as the Executive Director of the Center for Early Learning Solutions to those of you who I have not had the opportunity to meet just yet. And just let you know that we are a new entity that has been stood up within the year in Arkansas to implement best practices. There we go. Hello, everybody. There I am. To implement best practices and scale best practices across the early childhood system. We have been very excited to have been meeting so many of you across the state, and we'll continue to get around the state to continue to interact and let you know what we're up to. So, without further ado, I think you could go to the next slide and I will introduce
my team to you. So Molly Hill, who you're going to hear from in just a moment, and Danelle Hedrick, who's our operations and analysis manager and is not on the call today. That's our team. Molly is the early learning initiatives manager for the Center for Early Learning Solutions and supports any of our statewide initiatives focused on strengthening early learning through high quality instructional materials, implementation supports, and cross-sector collaboration. She brings nearly 18 years of experience across the early childhood and K-12 education systems. Her professional background includes early childhood education in a number of settings, which I'm so happy to report: elementary classroom teaching, instructional coaching, and statewide literacy coaching. Her breadth of experience provides a very unique perspective on supporting educators and implementing evidence-based instructional practices and improving outcomes for young children. So I am super happy for you all to hear about this pilot directly from Molly Hill.
Okay, I am on. I also cannot have, I'm unable to start video as well, but I'm gonna continue on. I can, in fact, start my video. Here we go. Hi, so happy to be on with you guys. We can go ahead and go to the next slide. We are super excited to get to share our pilot timeline and all of the things that I know that you've been anxiously awaiting. So as we were planning for the Center for Early Learning Solutions, we wanted to make sure that our work was really grounded in what our families, our providers, and our community partners are actually experiencing within the field. So during our landscape analysis in the fall of 2025, providers voiced challenges with the HQIM adoption process, specifically related to two things. One is navigating the complexities of a quality curriculum choice for their program, and two, being overwhelmed by the cost of commercial options. At the same time, OEC was facilitating the curriculum review process to support providers with that HQIM choice. Our team began to discuss the opportunity to partner with OEC and leverage our support from the Walton Family Foundation to explore making an open educational resource available to Arkansas early childhood programs at a low to no cost. So if we look through the timeline, spring of 2026, we began looking at our development roadmap and setting our HQIM criteria, and we also selected development partners. Now, summer 2026 through spring of 2027, we're going to adapt that OER curriculum to Arkansas needs. We're going to build implementation systems and start recruiting providers. And so we're hoping that you all are starting to get interested in this. Our pilot preparation will be spring to summer of 2027, where we're going to launch our community of practice, train and prepare educators to be able to have that pilot launching for the 27-28 school year. So we'll test our pilot insights and then evaluate and improve that in order for us to scale and expand that access to the open educational resource across Arkansas for the following year. Next slide, please. So this work began with a simple but really important vision, and that's to expand access to high quality instructional materials for our Arkansas providers. Because cost can be a barrier, we wanted to identify a curriculum that was both instructionally strong and financially accessible while meeting the unique needs of Arkansas's mixed delivery early childhood systems. Before we released the RFP, we wanted to learn from others who had already begun exploring the open educational resources. So in partnership with OEC, we hosted learning sessions to better understand how 5 different states were approaching the open educational resource implementation. We also attended the Gates Foundation Early Learning Champions Summit, where we connected with leaders from across the country who are navigating similar HQIM adoption. And we visited classrooms in Boston to observe one example of an OER in practice. Those opportunities helped us better understand the questions that we needed to ask, helped us understand the implementation supports that providers were going to need, and the priorities that we wanted to be sure to include in the Arkansas RFP. CELS, so Center for Early Learning Solutions, CELS at Forward released a competitive request for proposal and assembled a diverse review team for that. Multiple reviewers independently evaluated proposals using a common rubric before discussing their findings together. We knew that this decision had to be about a lot more than just lesson plans. We looked really carefully at the research and the evidence base behind each curriculum, the supports that were available for educators, the long-term sustainability, and each organization's ability to partner with Arkansas throughout the implementation. When we needed more information, we asked for it. We wanted to understand not only what each organization offered today, but also how they were going to partner with Arkansas throughout the pilot and those future scaling efforts. Ultimately, our goal wasn't simply to select a curriculum. It was to identify a partner and a solution that aligned to Arkansas's vision, that could support educators through implementation and had the potential to expand our access to high quality instructional materials across the state of Arkansas over time. Next slide, please. So throughout our learning and the RFP process, one proposal consistently stood out as having the strongest potential for matching Arkansas's vision. Today, we are excited, super excited to officially share the curriculum selected for Arkansas's HQIM OER pilot is Focus on Early Learning. Cue applause. The focus proposal developed collaboratively by MDRC and the University of Michigan consistently demonstrated the strongest alignment with Arkansas's goals for this initiative. Reviewers identified three particular strengths. So first, Focus offers a comprehensive evidence-based curriculum designed to support high-quality instruction throughout the year. It supports children's development across intellectual, social, emotional, and physical domains, addressing learning standards and approaches to play and learning, English language arts, math, social studies, and science and engineering, and integrating the arts in child-driven and teacher-guided learning experiences and interactions. Focus on Early Learning has been involved in over 5 rigorous studies with positive effects found across those studies for language and literacy, math, social emotional learning, and executive function. The second is that the proposal included strong professional learning and implementation support with the opportunity to tailor to Arkansas's program needs, recognizing that successful implementation requires more than just the curriculum materials alone. It presented the opportunity to partner with Arkansas educators to help shape what statewide implementation could look like, which was already a priority for OEC and CELS. And then finally, Focus was aligned with our long-term vision by supporting Arkansas ownership of curriculum resources and building that capacity that's needed to refine and scale our work over time. Next slide. Thank you. Today's announcement marks the beginning of this work. So now through fall of this year, we will be out interacting with you guys, visiting your communities to share more about the Center for Early Learning Solutions work and guide exploration of Focus. Then we'll begin recruiting providers for the pilot. So when we look at our overview, so we're exploring, we're recruiting and making those selections through the fall of 2026. Our pilot structure, I know this is where a lot of questions will come in. We will have 20 classrooms. So this is going to be pretty highly sought after. And so be sure that you are getting all of that information. We will have 4-year-old classrooms, and there's a high probability that we'll seek a limited number of mixed age classrooms for the pilot, but this has not been firmly established. So I want to be really clear about that, but we really want it to be representative of as many early childhood settings and geographies as possible. So you might be a really great candidate for this pilot if you're eager to implement the HQIM, that you are eager to receive support to positively impact children's school readiness and outcomes, and if you serve low-income children. So throughout the implementation, we'll learn alongside you and your eager programs of leaders and educators, gathering feedback that's going to help us refine both the HQIM and the implementation structure. That learning will help us inform that future scaling of an early childhood open educational resource in Arkansas. Super exciting work. Next slide. So if you are interested, I would encourage you now to scan this QR code and be sure to click the HQIM pilot as one of the interests. You can click all of the things that you might be interested in, but that way you can be on the list to receive the most up-to-date information as new details come out. So this is being built with Arkansas educators, not just for them. The goal of the pilot is not HQIM adoption or compliance. It truly is about bringing accessible HQIM to classrooms and supporting educators to use it for positive impacts on all of the domains that impact school readiness. And participation in the pilot means receiving that implementation support for instructional transformation and shaping the future of this OER in Arkansas. Next slide, please.
Okay, and I think this last slide is for me. I wanted to just also hit on and kind of an unexpected benefit of the process that Molly just walked you through that we've been walking with the RFP and identifying a curriculum is we also identified another potential low-cost curriculum option for Arkansas throughout the process that we felt was high quality. We have had the opportunity to interact with the creators of Thrive in 3, also Stream in 3 as it's known in Virginia, which provides low-cost license access to evidence-based curriculum and supports learning from infancy through preschool. And although its licensing structure did not align with the RFP requirements for Arkansas ownership of the OER, we did connect the developers with the Office of Early Childhood and their curriculum review process that Dr. Barnes was referencing earlier, where it is now awaiting consideration for the state's approved curriculum list as well. So we just wanted to throw that out there that was kind of an unexpected benefit as we ran across another curriculum that we thought would be great for some programs in Arkansas. Thank you so much to the OEC team and Dr. Barnes for allowing us to share that information with you all today.
Thank you, Jamie. We appreciate you and Molly joining us. It is exciting to see movement over in our content and development area, especially around curriculum. Okay, so here's some exciting news that is coming up. You know that we've been working through our PDG grant that we got for this year, and a part of that PDG grant was workforce bonuses. You might have heard them call, or workforce stipends. You might even have heard workforce incentives. So next slide, please. We have with us today Paige and also Misty, who's going to be our partner with the Teach Scholarship that will be helping us get the workforce stipends out. So we are ready to get those out and about to everyone. And so I'm going to pass it to Paige and Misty, and they're going to walk us through how that's going to happen. Paige?
Well, thank you, Ashlyn. So Ashlyn kind of stole my thunder, but I will say that today is a great day to be in the early child education field. I mean, this call, it seems like person after person after person has just been sharing good things that are happening in the state. So this is a fun call to be a part of. But as Ashlyn said, we're here today to talk to you about money that we set aside specifically for you guys, for our early childhood workforce, because we know that workforce retention, we know that it's a difficult field to be in, and we know that you guys are important and workforce retention is important. So we definitely put aside PDG funds for that and also for continuing education. And in order to successfully get funding out into the field, OEC decided to partner with the Arkansas Early Childhood Commission, not commission, although obviously we have a commission, the Arkansas Early Childhood Association, who we continuously work with, as you know, through Teach Arkansas. And my friend Misty Butler is here today to talk about the specifics of the incentive funding that is available to you. So Misty,
Thank
I'll
you.
let you take
Uh,
it.
Good afternoon. My name is Misty Butler, and I am the financial manager with the Arkansas Early Childhood Association. And I'm super excited to be here today to talk about the Preschool Development Grant Incentive Initiative. So, in partnership with the OEC, AECA will administer a short-term incentive program for the Arkansas Early Childhood Education professionals using PDG funds. We have 3 incentives that you can apply for, but you can only choose one incentive. These are one-time payments, and funding will be limited and available only until funds are exhausted. The first incentive that you may apply for, or one of the options, is the retention incentive. This is for current employees in a licensed program or family child care educators operating licensed homes for at least 1 year. And this incentive is based on length of employment operation. On this incentive, current Teach scholars and those receiving the Teach retention incentives are not eligible to apply for this incentive. The second incentive that you can apply for is the Continue Education Incentive, and this is for education milestones completed July 1st, 25 through June 30th, 2026, all related to CDAs and early childhood education degree completions. This incentive also Teach graduates are not eligible to apply. The third incentive that you may apply for is the Longevity Recognition Incentive. This is for active Arkansas PDR members with recent training based on years of membership in the Arkansas ECE PD system. So the question of the day is, how are you going to apply? And so if you can download the instructions using this QR code, and you can read about each incentive and all the eligibility requirements for each one. On the instruction sheet, you will find a separate QR code and link to access the online application. That online application will not become available until August 10th at 8 a.m. You will complete and submit it. Along with the application, there is required documentation that must be turned in within 10 days of the application. You will send all the documentation to wages@arkansasearlychildhood.org. If the required documentation is not within 10 days of the application, that application will close and you can reapply. Applications are not complete until all required documentation is received. The eligibility will be reviewed by the Arkansas Early Childhood Association. We're going to do our best to determine eligibility within 10 business days of the receipt of a complete application. The incentive checks will be issued for approved applications, and the goal is to issue payment to approved applicants within 30 days of approval. Before you apply, remember the funding is limited. Applications will be processed in the order they are completed, including all the required documentation. It will be a first complete, first approved basis. Remember, complete applications will make a difference. Funds are only reserved after a complete application has been reviewed, eligibility verified, and payment approved. There is, as we stated before, there is additional requirements, and one of those is a signed W-9 as part of the documentation. These payments may be taxable income. Submission of an application is no guarantee of approval or payment. The application will open on August the 10th at 8 a.m. You can go ahead and download the instructions now at the link below or scan the QR code. And that way you can start looking at all the required eligibility requirements for each incentive so you can pick which one would be best for you. Like I said, you can only pick one, so you want to review each of the incentives available and pick which one you think would be the best one that you would qualify for to apply. Any questions that you have, the preferred method to reach us for questions is at wages@arkansasearlychildhood.org. You will also send all the required documentation to the same email address, wages@arkansasearlychildhood.org.
Okay, thank you, Misty. We are
Thank
so
you.
excited to be working with you guys once
We're
again
super
on
excited.
another project to get funding out. So actually following me, Kelly Hilburn is here to share some licensing updates. Kelly?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kelly Hilburn, Program Administrator for our licensing team. And I wanted to talk a minute about transportation today. So many of you may remember that back in June, Sally Webb came and talked to you all about transportation and gave you some detailed information. And so I would encourage you, if you missed that, or if you just want a refresher, go back to our June webinar and take a look at that. I wanted to give you a reminder, though, about transportation because we have had, to my knowledge, we've had at least 4 children left in vehicles this year at childcare facilities. And one of those, unfortunately, ended in a death of a child. And so we have talked about on our team, what can we do to prevent any other children being left on vehicles? If you take a look at your licensing requirements and you're following those requirements, there is no way a child can be left on a vehicle. So I would encourage you all to look at those, look at your own written policies, and make sure that they have everything that's required in them. We're also going to hit the road with some training. So if you need training right now, please contact me. We can get out there and do it. But if we don't hear from you, either way, we're going to be hitting the road soon. We're developing a process right now, a plan for getting out there statewide to get some training done. So just any questions you have about transportation, please call me and we'll be happy to get out there as quick as we can. Okay, next slide, please. So many of you remember our old Better Beginnings website that you went to for a lot of different information. All of that has been transferred over to our OEC website now. So there's a QR code that'll take you to all that content. So we just wanted to make sure you have that available in case you could try to go to that old one and it's not there anymore. This is where you can find it. Next slide. And we have a couple of focus groups we wanted to talk with you about on the QRIS side. So we are still trying to determine if we want family engagement to be part of that QRIS process. And if so, what does that look like? So we're doing 2 different focus groups. One is going to be for families, one will be for providers to attend. And so help us spread the word so we can get a lot of feedback from everyone as we develop out those processes. Okay, next slide. And speaking of QRIS, so we have been having, this will be our 3rd month, I believe, of having QRIS webinars to get feedback and to share information along the way as decisions are made. So our next one is August 18th. If you will scan that QR code and sign up, please be sure to come and give us your feedback so that we can develop a QRIS that's going to be representative of Arkansas. And the next slide, I think we're at the end here. Our next provider call is going to be September 1st, same time. Please sign up and make sure that you use one individual email address as you sign up. I think there was a change this month, so you can't have multiple email addresses on the same sign up. All right.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you for that reminder too about the monthly provider call. You do have to individually sign up. So if you've got buddies or friends that are trying to join, just remind them to register as well. And all of that information can be found on our website. Don't forget also that the recording of all the provider calls are always posted up. It usually takes us about a day or two after the provider call to get the recording up and to also get the FAQs up. You'll be able to see all of that. So a lot of things happening during this call. I just want to do a quick recap. Don't forget that Molly talked to us about There's 20 slots, I believe I have that correct, available if you're interested in being a part of the open education resource or the at no cost, low cost curriculum that's being looked at. There's the QR code for that. Also, the focus groups that Kelly talked about are part of our QRIS. We really want to hear from you all. One was for providers, the other one was for families. So if you are a provider and you've been getting questions from families about QRS or family engagement, they can be a part of the focus group all around that. We would love to have families join that and give us feedback on how they think it's going for um, the family engagement. And then also don't forget about the links that Paige and Misty talked to you all about in terms of the workforce stipends. So again, all of this information, in case you missed any of the links or the QR codes or any of that, will be posted up to our website within like a day or two. Okay, so I will see you next time around in the month of September. I hope you all have a great rest of your day and afternoon, and thanks again for all you're doing for our children across the state. Thank you.